to see how it would be feasible for gatherings of more than 100 people, here particularly at ANZ Stadium, as well as other stadiums and arenas across the country. The committee will today also look at a number of employees returning back to work, as well as interstate travel, but also take into account the Black Lives Matter protests that we did see across the country over the weekend. It really is a wait-and-see scenario for health experts now to see whether or not that sparks a second wave outbreak across the country, and they're expecting to see those figures come out in about 2 weeks' time. Despite this, though, it means that premiers across the country are under pressure to ease the restrictions because of the protests we saw. Today, though, the New South Wales Police Minister came out saying that despite this, New South Wales will not be tempting fate and will ban protests.
I've spoken to the Commissioner and the Premier and the Attorney General, and my view is that because of the health orders and while COVID is undergoing, well, we just can't allow these permits. We can't issue these permits. If there is an outbreak in the Indigenous community, that will be very, very worrying, because we will see a return to some of the restrictions that we've just been able to remove from society, and that's just completely unacceptable.
Now, yesterday we saw Senior Government Minister Matthias come on Sky News saying that the protesters were irresponsible to take part, given that thousands of people across the country have lost their jobs and are doing their bit to try and slow the spread of COVID-19. Today, though, further Australian leaders have come out expressing their disappointment at the protests.
I feel that we've had 3 months of messaging gone out the window. Clearly, we've told people to stay home, to stop the spread, to abide by the social distancing rules. And then all of a sudden on the weekend, what has occurred is a breach of those rules. Everyone has a right to protest, but not in this time.
It's very disappointing. At the moment in Queensland, we can only have 20 people attend a restaurant, yet there were 30,000 people gathering in one spot. I mean, look, it just is nonsensical that the Premier has let this happen in Queensland.
Now, for those protesters who did attend the rallies, they are being urged to come forward and get tested if they are displaying cold and flu-like symptoms. But the Deputy Chief Medical Officer says if you're not displaying any symptoms, then you do not need to get tested.
If you do get sick with symptoms that we've talked about a lot, cold and flu-like symptoms, it could be COVID, please get a test as soon as possible so that we can know that that is the case and start the process of contact tracing to try and decrease any outbreak that may occur. This will protect your life, the life of your families, and lives further into the community.
So, as I said, Annalise, now a number of leaders across the country under pressure to ease those restrictions. We are expecting the committee to meet at some stage today to discuss whether or not mass gatherings will be allowed, but so far New South Wales saying absolutely not.